I used to wake to the sound of birdsong. Now I wake to silence. There was a time when the world was filled with laughter, when my son's little hands would clutch mine as we walked to the market, when my husband would kiss my forehead before leaving for work. There was a time when our home smelled of fresh bread and jasmine, when the walls were covered in crayon drawings, when love lived in every corner. But that world is gone now, swallowed by fire and war. I don't know the exact day it all ended. The war had been creeping toward us for years, a distant shadow we refused to acknowledge. We told ourselves it would not come here, that we were safe. But war does not ask permission before it steals. It comes like a storm in the night, ruthless and unrelenting. I remember the first bomb that fell on our city. The ground shook so violently that my son screamed, his tiny fingers digging into my arms. The windows shattered, glass cutting into my skin as I shielded him. My husband ran to us, his face pale with terror. "We have to go," he said, "now." We fled into the streets, joining a sea of terrified people, our footsteps echoing against the crumbling walls of our home. The sky was thick with smoke, the air heavy with the scent of burning flesh. I clutched my son to my chest, whispering prayers against his hair, promising him we would be safe. It was a lie. The soldiers came next, not as saviors, but as executioners. They dragged men from their families, lining them up against the broken walls of our city. My husband was among them. I screamed his name, begged them for mercy. But war does not listen to the cries of widows. The gunfire was deafening. His body fell like a puppet with its strings cut. I remember running to him, my hands pressing against his chest, trying to hold his life inside. But his eyes stared past me, unseeing. My son, too young to understand, pulled at my dress. "Mama, wake Papa up. How do you tell a child that his father will never wake again?" We ran again. There was no home left for us. The roads were lined with the dead, the rivers choked with bodies. Hunger clawed at our stomachs, but food was a memory. Every step was agony, every breath a struggle. And then, one cold night, as we huddled in the ruins of an old church, my son coughed. I held him close, rocking him, singing lullabies. But the war had already taken him from me. His body burned with fever, his breath shallow. I begged the heavens, pleaded for a miracle, but there was none left to give. When the sun rose, he was gone. His small body, once filled with laughter and mischief, was still in my arms. I held him long after his warmth had faded, until the wind carried his last breath away. Now I walk alone, a ghost among the ruins. There is no home to return to, no family waiting for me. War has stolen everything. I whisper his name to the wind, but no one is left to hear. I wander through the remnants of our once vibrant city, now a desolate landscape of charred buildings and silent streets. The memories of laughter and love haunt these ruins, echoing in the empty corridors where my son used to play. In the aftermath of the war, survival has become a solitary endeavour. The community we once relied upon has been shattered, its members either perished or scattered to unknown places. The bonds that held us together have been severed, leaving me to navigate this new reality alone. Each day is a struggle against despair. I scavenge for food among the debris, finding sustenance in the most unlikely places. Water is a precious commodity, and I have learned to ration every drop. The basic comforts of life are distant memories, replaced by the harshness of survival. The nights are the hardest. In the darkness, the weight of my losses presses down upon me. I clutch the remnants of my past, a torn photograph, a child's toy, seeking solace in the tangible memories of my loved ones. But these mementos offer little comfort against the overwhelming grief. I have become a ghost in this forsaken place, a solitary figure drifting through the wreckage of a life that once was. The future is an unfathomable concept. My existence is defined by the relentless present. Hope is a fragile ember, easily extinguished by the cold winds of reality. Yet, amidst the desolation, there are moments when I catch a glimpse of resilience. A flower pushing through the cracked pavement, a bird singing in a skeletal tree. These small signs of life remind me that the world continues, indifferent to human suffering. I do not know what tomorrow holds. Perhaps I will find others who have survived, and together we can begin to rebuild. Or maybe I will remain alone, a solitary witness to the aftermath of humanity's folly. Whatever the case, I will continue to endure, carrying the memories of my loved ones within me as I navigate this silent, shattered world. Thanks for listening. Subscribe for more stories, thank you, and take care of yourselves.